Is this the day you finally do something about your weight?
May I help you?
No, thank you. Here we are. This looks nice. This will never do. Oh, nothing seems to fit.
Would you like to look at some 14?
Is this the day? All it takes is a little bit of willpower and Metrecal. Metrecal isn't chicken and dumplings. It is a simple, safe way to lose weight without hunger. Perhaps you'd rather not use Metrecal as your total diet, but surely you have enough willpower to try it for 2 meals a day with a moderate third meal of your usual food. You can still lose weight. Is this the day you finally do something about your weight? All it takes is a little bit of willpower and Metrecal.
This is Metrecal, one of the earliest meal replacement products that cornered the dieting market in the late 1950s, 1960s, all the way up until its death in the 1970s. Metrecal was so successful during its run that it spawned nearly 40 imitation products from other companies. I will be honest, I had never heard of Metrecal in my entire life, but one day I was relaxing and watching an episode of Dennis the Menace because whatever, and while watching, I just got the vibe from the dude that played Mr. Wilson, Joseph Kearns, that he was a total grasshole in real life. I mean, just look at this guy. So, curious about the life of Joseph Kearns, I quickly checked Wikipedia for additional information. Turns out, Mr. Wilson, he wasn't a Klan member or anything, and in fact, I think he was the exact opposite as to what I had imagined. He was just a single dude that liked to stay up at night, much like myself. He enjoyed things like reading, writing, playing the organ, going to the movies, playing card games, and was even involved in an exclusive club for gentlemen chefs, and apparently they traded recipes and whatnot. I'm not really sure what that's about. During my investigation, though, I came across something that caught old Meats' eye, and that's the way he died. Turns out he died from a cerebral hemorrhage after being on the Metrecal diet for only 6 weeks. He apparently never regained consciousness and died in mid-February of 1962. Like I said, I had never heard of Metrecal before, and all I remember thinking when I did find out about this is how it sounded like one of those early 20th century inventions that they thought was super duper cool and helpful at the time, but turned out to be incredibly dangerous down the road. Similar to how they put lead in makeup or gave children toys with uranium in them. Anyway, let's take a look at the history of Metrecal and its eventual demise in the late 1970s. Metrecal launched in September of 1959 by Mead Johnson, which was known at the time as a baby formula company. The name was actually created by using an IBM syllable scrambling program. The program generated the word Metrecal when the words meter and calories were entered. Metrecal originally came in a powdered form and you mixed with water. The powder contained things like soybean flour, skim milk powder, corn oil, sugar, and was fortified with your vitamins and rocks.
Well, then how do we get our vitamins and rocks?
That's minerals, Kel.
Yeah!
The goal was to consume 4 liquid meals a day at 225 calories apiece for a total of 900 calories. That just seems completely insane to me. In the early 1900s, dieting wasn't really a trend people engaged in. There were some infamous dieting trends in the Victorian era, like tight lacing or the tapeworm diet. However, the dieting fad never really took off until the post-war era after rationing phased out. We were also starting to understand the negative health effects of poor nutrition and overeating around this time. There was also some media influence. The popular women's magazine at the time, Woman's Own, attempted to manipulate women into keeping slim and fit for their man, scaring women into thinking men would become frustrated if their wives let their bodies go. That aside, dieting was becoming mainstream in the 50s and 60s. Even President Kennedy kept some Metrecal in the White House for his staff and for himself from time to time. It was reported the stuff looked like baby powder before being mixed and tasted awful after being combined with water. While they did have other forms of the product like cookies, soups, and various forms of canned noodles, people reported that it all tasted like complete dog shit. Albeit, I guess some people enjoyed the cookies from what I've read, but still, it's no surprise. The stuff looks like it just coats your intestines. I feel like my stomach would be glowing if I consumed this stuff. To combat the awful taste, people would sometimes add liquor to make it palatable. However, there were numerous complaints aside from just the taste. Side effects like dizziness, hunger pangs, and digestive discomfort, just to name a few. In the 1970s, the product slowly started to phase out due to competition from brands like Seago. Although, I think people just started to realize as well that real food is awesome and Metrecal was stupid and gross. Living off liquids is not sustainable. Simply put, the fad was dying. In 1977, the Chicago Tribune published an article on their front page titled, "Liquid Protein Diet May Kill." In the same year, the FDA started an investigation into the deaths reportedly linked to Metrecal and other related liquid protein diets. In November of 1977, there was an initial warning from the FDA and CDC with the claim that 16 women had perished due to the regular consumption of the liquid protein drinks, or at least it was a contributing factor. Then, in 1978, the FDA pulled and temporarily banned several Metrecal-style products off the shelf after they were connected to 59 deaths. All of them were women ranging from their mid-20s to their mid-40s. However, the unofficial death toll linked to the product could, and probably is, much higher. There were a few studies that tried to piece together answers as to what specifically caused these deaths. However, there was never an exact cause agreed upon. Some studies determined that a lot of the drinks contained low-quality protein and were deficient in minerals that were essential for heart function, like potassium. This, combined with underlying health issues, could have been a recipe for death. Metrecal never quite recovered from the temporary ban, as they would forever be recognized as unsafe and even lethal. They were eventually phased out to newer, healthier, and better researched competitors like SlimFast. But that's a story for another video. That does it for this one though, guys. If you enjoy this type of content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers and any help would be greatly appreciated. I also have more projects like this coming out soon, so be on the lookout for those. But for now, thank you all for watching and I will catch you all in the next one.